listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black repressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country to win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Welcome to Reset Race. Hopefully it's welcome back to Reset Race. This is Michael Graham from Actify Press. One of the co-hosts here for Reset Race. And here we talk about race, ethnicity, and nationality and how they impact life in America here.
Jake,
especially how it impacts Black folks in America, especially descendants of slaves, specifically descendants of slaves, because we have been misinformed. We've all been misinformed about how race works, number one, and we have been misinformed specifically about how race as in policy and practice has impacted Black folks. So this is what we're going to try to fix, and we're going to fix it. We're fixing it as we speak because we're talking about it. Most people don't even talk about it. So with that said, I'm going to introduce the panel. And we start ladies first. Sam.
So, hey everybody, I'm Samantha Angelique. I'm looking forward to getting into this episode. This is the week of, I guess, still the week of the white riots, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just interesting talking about what's going on in America. So I'm gonna keep it short. You can find me at me17trillion on Twitter. resetrace.org coming soon. And yeah, we're just out here trying to do some good stuff for our people.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sam. Next up, Big John, talk to me.
Yeah, this is John C. You can follow me on Twitter at John Daniel C. Okay, as usual. Interesting week, white riots. You wrote that down. They flagging shit because it's white riots. You know what it is. Like, back with the film as usual. I don't know where my black ass is here. Feeling good. So see that? I'm feeling good tonight. Not gonna tell you why. I'm feeling good. All right. I'm all right. I'm gonna chill tonight. That's all I gotta let you know. I'm chilling tonight.
All right, no doubt. We'll leave that alone. Appreciate it, John. All right, last but not least, Mud. Talk to him, baby.
Yeah, they call me Mud. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Of Lineage. I'm on Clubhouse. Bitter Dose TV is on Reset Race, Actified Press Network. All right, yeah, I'm ready. Let's get it.
And also, you can see Mud on Clubhouse. He's out there killing it. Every time I hop in the room with him, he's in there slaying them. Just want to put that out there. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about. As you know, we target the left because the left is supposed to be our friends. They're supposed to be our best hope for policy. So we're going after them until they get their shit together. We are their best hope for real power, whether they believe it or not. And it's gonna hurt, and we're gonna make sure it hurts. All right. So in this clip, we're gonna talk about a young man who used to work for Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks, specifically Cenk Uygur and Dave Kohler over at the Young Turks, and you'll hear more about that in a minute. All right.
Here's another guy. Watch this. It's another guy who was Cenk Uygur steamrolled.
Yesterday, I came forward about the racial discrimination that I unfortunately dealt with at the Young Turks, and it certainly wasn't easy to do. My time at the Young Turks was both humiliating and unfortunate. In response, my old boss Cenk Uygur insinuated that I lied. He couldn't be more wrong. When I went to Cenk for help, he responded by telling me his old boss would tell me to shut the f up and I should just deal with it. He also told me complaining about my discrimination complaints was something amounting to a fireable offense.
He told him that if he complained.
All right. So I think one thing we all know about Cenk is a bully. And that's bottom line. Cenk is a bully. And I was a fan of Cenk for a long time. There's one thing you can pick up from everything he does and how he does it. He was.
What is your
bully.
cast?
Well, Cenk is Turkish, so I'm not sure about cast.
Oh, my bad.
I don't know how.
He's
I don't know
still
how
a
it works in
bully.
Turkey. Yeah, he's still.
He's still a bully.
Yeah, came here from a privileged class. His father was a landlord. I don't know how many properties his father had, and so his parents came here as immigrants, and they made it because of course the people step over our warm bodies and get on about their business and don't even worry about how the country treated us and how they're kept lifted above us by the system. So just something I wanted to touch on. Anybody else got anything on that?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily about him, but this clip is going to be the other side of that white fragility conversation that the white left was making fun of. Well, this is kind of what happens.
Okay. Can you clarify that, Mud?
Yeah.
Or you want to clarify that as we go along?
They were making fun of what's her name? Angela. What's her name? The white fragility woman, Sam.
It's Robin DiAngelo.
Robin DiAngelo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're making fun of her like being this person that basically goes into corporations and talks about racial discrimination and how motherfuckers, basically white people can't handle these type of conversations. And this is kind of like an example of that, even though they'll probably argue that Cenk is not white, but whatever. It's the same.
Okay, I see what you're saying. They should have called him Robert DiAngelo and fixed this shit. Yeah, I see. All right, thanks, Mud. Big John, talk to me.
TYT is anti-black. Of course! Of course! Of course!
No shit against him.
Of course! Like, this ain't a surprise to nobody. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a surprise to nobody, man. Like, it been mad long. The same thing. I was watching TYT for a little while. They ain't had no black people on TYT for a minute.
It was just JR, and JR was just pushing knobs. He's
got dreads. Some dude with dreads on there. Like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, Sway, yeah, Jake. Yeah, I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? But they finally got a little bit of black representation. But this ain't, like Mud said, like, this is the reason why white fragility and some of this corporate training and these fucking business entities got to be taught. Because you feel me, like the right wing, nobody's excluded from this, especially the left wing. Even though I know it's the milquetoast left, but they all do this shit to us.
Ironically, Robert DiAngelo said, the left thinks they're the choir. They think they're above all this shit, but they are not. That's why we're here. We're gonna make sure they get down here with it and to get some act right. All right, thanks, John. I'm sorry, John. You done?
Good.
Sam, I know you got something for this one.
I actually don't. Like, I'd like to actually let him get into the meat of it.
Boo.
Yep.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That was a fireable offense.
I filed a complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights because it's not right for journalists or anyone of color to be treated this way. The day has come for us to pull back the curtain on what really happens, even in progressive media. Cenk also said yesterday, quote, "We care a great deal about diversity in the workplace. That is part and parcel of what we do." Sadly, the Young Turks couldn't be further from that.
I got something for that. He said diversity. He didn't say shit about black people. The Young Turks is diverse as fuck. Cenk's a Turk. what's the speak Spanish heifer's name? Anna Kasparian's fucking Armenian.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Dave
had
Cole
white
is Jewish.
Yeah, they had white people. They had Jewish people.
Steve O is Asian.
Yeah. So what are you talking about? They got mad diversity. Diversity don't mean black.
Yep.
The Young Turks is very diverse. That's
Yep,
why you shouldn't say people
black,
of color and diversity when you mean black, my Negro.
Speak on it.
Anything else y'all got? So see, I had something. I just had y'all had to wait for my turn.
No, I got nothing for that one. You said it all. Anybody else?
Nah, Sam said it.
Okay.
John?
That's right.
That's a wrap.
All right.
Perceived ethos that he thinks his organization conducts. The Young Turks started their brand writing about African Americans in horrible terms. Their head of HR, Dave Kohler, wrote about black people in old blog post discovered last month, quote, poor black people sweating in the sun. That was the same person who investigated my complaints by talking to me on the phone only once about my discriminatory complaints against my supervisor and never talking to me again about what the investigation he conducted resulted in. Cenk Uygur also said this about Native Americans in those old blog posts, quote, those Redskins show up everywhere, there's a buck to be made. And both Cenk and David Kohler joined themselves in shooting bottle rockets at the Martin Luther King Memorial. All those past actions both Cenk and Dave Kohler never apologized for until they were called out in press last month. So it's not shocking.
I didn't even hear about that. Just
They didn't apologize because they weren't sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And mad y'all motherfuckers made them apologize.
You know what's wild? He talking about the Native Americans, talking about a buck to be made. That's why the fuck his parents came here, to make a buck. Turkey wasn't all that unstable at that time. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but in any event, they came here to make a buck and make a better life for themselves, right? So anybody else out here trying to get some recompense for what happened to them? No, they can't do that. Can't do that. Full of shit. All right. I'm sorry. Excuse my French.
His dad was like a mechanical engineer, some shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And he jumped in. He was, I think, went from a taxi driver to real estate while he was getting his education stuff together.
What?
But apparently they came here with a little loot in their pocket. So it must not have been too bad over there in Turkey. All right. so Mud, what you got, man?
I really don't have much to say. I mean, like the Native American shit was kind of bad. Like the poor black people sweating in the sun. Maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Yeah. Making his case. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you put all that together, it's something. I don't really know what his actual. He doesn't go into details about what his actual situation was, but that's really what I want to hear about.
You better cut out all that asking for context shit. Cut it out. We don't do that here. We just pile shit on and just hope for the best. Sam, you got anything else?
No, I'm good. Let's rock. Y'all ready for me to play some more?
Shocking that when I needed help to have my claims of discrimination fully investigated, that there was no help to be found. I was either ignored or told to deal with it. Then I was placed under suspension, and then I was eventually fired/terminated. These terrible practices by the Young Turks are in clear violation of the Civil Rights Act. And it is salient, so important of us to make sure that we hold our employers accountable for when they don't follow the guidelines of such important legislation of equality. I hope my story can be able to be an inspiration for those who are experiencing the same levels of discriminatory behavior that I have unfortunately experienced at the Young Turks. All these words I say here, I truly do mean, and I hope that they can galvanize someone who is enduring the same level of awful behavior from their employer. Thank you all for watching this video, and may you all have a great rest of your day.
All right. So one thing that stood out to me, thank you, brother, whoever you are. I don't know this dude's name. one thing that stood out to me is this is another area where our lack of resources harms us, right? Because if this dude could have get out there and get a lawyer, I don't know his whole situation. He may have gotten a lawyer, but it occurs to me that if he had a lawyer and didn't sign an arbitration agreement when he came on, he could have got some of that $20 million that they got from whoever they got it from. The Young Turks got when they got the glow up. So I just wanted to put that in there. Anybody, Sam? You got anything?
No, I just think it just shows more like, progressives think that like we're all hunky dory and we all like get along and it's all love, but y'all be the worst sometimes too. Because again, y'all be a parts of our lives, y'all be in our faces, and y'all think that it's okay. And like you can tell Jink's a bully. Mm-hmm. And when I look at Jink, like he may not be white, but he's white adjacent. Like white is not a color in this country. Mm-hmm. It's a status. It's a legal status. And even if he's not classified as a white man, he's living a white life.
Mm-hmm. He sure is.
So, and he always, but was he like a Republican anyways? Like just the way he talks, that you can tell he don't really care about Black people. So it is what it is. I think it's more of a wake up for Black people who are lost in the sauce, thinking that, white progressives are like these great minds who are, really forward thinking about race when they're not. Like Inner Mind's Eye, who pulled a Joe Biden talking about, well, if you think the coalition's on the right, they'll put you back in chains. There's plenty of fucking white liberals that would be very happy. They actually are. They invest in prisons. They've already put my people back in slavery. Black people are still in slavery. It's called prison.
Yep. And they act like we're not supposed to know these things.
I'm just a free Black. The same way there was free Blacks during the Civil War when they were fighting. There was free Blacks in the North. So it's no different.
Yep. Yeah, it's it's the same old bullshit. We're not going to help you. We're just better than the people to my right, which is the left says that, the Democrats say that, and the Republicans just don't give a shit. They throw some every once in a while. They throw some buzzwords out there, but everyone knows Republicans don't give a shit. Mud, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, he's not the only person like that's left recently, or I don't think he was like an on-screen person.
No, that I know of anyway.
Just that that chick Brooke, what's her name's the Black one, Brooke, that was doing the hosting, she left.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the tall dark skinned chick. Oh, okay,
yeah.
I remember when she started. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they're trying to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think she was like amazing at her job or anything, but I just noticed that she is dipped out. It's kind of like they had a couple of Black people for a while, and then slowly but surely they just started disappearing. So yeah, I'm just going to second what Sam said about like these progressives. They still fuck with that white supremacy shit, and like there's a lot of Black people who have to maneuver through it, and some of them are lost in the sauce. And like Paul Mooney said, you're gonna get your nigga wake up call.
Wake up, nigga. A nigga wake up call's a bitch.
You know what I'm saying?
He got his shit. Look at him. You look at his face. He's like, I woke up. I woke up.
Shit, I got my nigga wake up call when I started fighting for reparations. I got that wake up call like a motherfucker.
That's
the left just turned their back on everybody. Just turned their back.
It's like
Nah, nigga. They snatched my special Negro card.
Give me that shit back.
Give me that shit back.
Liberation for your people. Get the fuck out of here.
We can take it away, nigger.
you thought you was living in the house. Next thing you knew, they done transferred you to a whole new plantation in the field.
Feeling the sting of the whip.
Them niggas ain't shit, man.
Luckily, I got my own shit, and they can't silence me.
So funny.
But they did silence me to a degree. Every time I come on Twitter, they make sure I disappear again. You know what I mean?
But you know what? With them taking Trump's account now, they're snatching people's accounts like hotcakes. Though that shit's backfiring on the left too.
Good. Snatch all their accounts, everybody. Because if there was some people on the left saying some wild shit, people I knew, they say some wild shit all the time. But I'm relatively mild on Twitter, even before they started snatching my shit. I was relatively mild. But some of these folks, man, they just But again, when people are mass reporting you, that's what happens. In any event.
Right.
Plus, I'm a problem because I can talk to white folks and black folks. So
There you go. That is the problem. That's when they took
Mhm.
my last account when I started creeping over into the white BLM. People talk about, I stand with you. Well, will you stand with me for reparations?
They like, yo, delete. He like, get her out of here. Get her the fuck out of here now.
They took
Get
my
out of
account in
here.
less than 3 weeks. In less than 3 weeks, they snatched my shit.
Oh, that's
Yep.
fucked up.
Black liberation is a motherfucker. It's anathema to everything folks want to do.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I must be talking to these white people a little bit too crazy because they ain't taking my account yet. I'll be saying,
They will once they realize, once they connect you with bitter dose and people start listening more. Oh, your shit gonna be gone too.
Make a backup now, cousin. You better make a backup now. That shit on deck.
Yeah, you better get a backup now.
It is always good to have a backup. Twitter be
Mhm.
bullshitting.
Yeah, I just don't fuck with Twitter no more because they broke my heart enough times. That
I
shit is-
understand.
Yeah, you build up an account, you try to get a couple of people, you get a couple of what do you call it, a couple of followers, hey, okay, I'm creeping on 1,000. Click. You motherfuckers.
Ben Dixon was like, go get him! Get him out of here!
Shut him
That's all
down.
Ben Dixon was. Get him out of here!
Shut him
I know you
down.
did that shit.
Yeah,
Ben.
Ben
I know
Dixon
you
was
did
like,
it.
shut him down so he could single white female. He was trying to kill you off so he could take your place.
For real.
But shit,
Let me
Ben
stop.
got more influence than I do in those spaces. But of course,
Yeah, but
Ben's not talking about radical shit.
He out here shucking and jiving for the establishment, talking about he hood, he down. I'm down, but I'm with the establishment. I'm for the status quo, but I'm down because I'm black and I don't code switch.
You gotta stop.
Yeah, my
One
thing
from one suburban Negro to another one. Suburbs recognize suburbs.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I know a lot of black folks that were on the left when I was in those circles, and I don't think any of them are in those spaces anymore, except the ones that are making a little bit of money, like Ben and who else? Shit, I don't know. Tim Black is still there. Bree B. Joy, but I didn't know her that well. She became the prominence after my time. But I mean, it's I don't know, man, because I think as much as people give ADOS flack, they're part of a serious political awakening for black people, and that's a problem for most of these folks. That's a real problem, especially for the left. It's a real problem. All right, John, you got anything?
Yeah, man, I got motherfucking. First of all, this shit ain't surprising that this, you feel me, black dude crying about discrimination on TYT. He been seeing that shit was anti-black for mad long. And then second thing though, like real shit, I know we agree a lot with what Jimmy got to say, but he always do this shit, man. He need to be more vocal about reparations for those of us who descend from American slavery, from chattel slavery.
Our specific plight, yeah, absolutely.
Specific group. You know what I mean? Stop. You feel me? Like real shit. Like I feel like low key using him to just take a jab at Jenk, not really going to dig in deep into why this shit is happening. Like so, I wish you would get better on that. You feel me? Like so that's what I'm taking from this shit. So,
yeah, John, you touched on a good point, and I think that's the purpose of this show is to, because a lot of black folks, especially I remember when I was on the left, and a lot of things I didn't understand when people are saying lefties are anti-black, but I was like, okay, I get it. This is America. Everybody's gonna be a little anti-black right now. These policies that Bernie got is the best thing we got going. Ain't nobody else talking about anything else. That was prior to reparations fighting ADOS standing up, right? So I'm like, okay, right now this is the as we used to say in the miles of the military. This is the first thing smoking. Right. So this is the first thing smoking. Let's get this done. Hopefully we can get something more later, like we've always been doing with the Democrats. That was where I was. But a lot of black folks will say that what's going on was anti-black, but would never stop to explain why. And that's why our show is so important, because we have to explain why. Because a lot of folks say, but then if we get angry and say it's not our job to teach you white people about race, but then who's going to teach them? You know what I mean? Who's going to make these points? right?
Right.
We have to make it clear that's what's so important about our show, and what makes us dangerous to the left is that we're telling the truth on their asses, and nobody else will. People what they bank on is being able, like they did to me, to silence black folks that speak out, or to silence us, to denigrate us to the point where to defame us to the point where people stop listening to us, which is easy with black folks, or they call us crazy, gaslight, whatever they got to do to keep people from listening to us to our complaints. But we don't have to answer to that because we're independent. We're going to keep talking, and we're not going to stop talking, right? Because we're going to keep kicking these people in their teeth until they start listening to the plight of our people, right? Because that's justice. That's the core of injustice in this country. What has been done to us? What happened to the Native Americans is their business, and it's being addressed. It may not be getting addressed the way they want it to, or in a fair way, but that's their fight to have. But our fight has never, ever, ever been addressed in any serious way. So now it's time to fix that. And the left is either gonna help us fix it, or they're gonna burn down. Is what it is.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry, I went on with that one. Mud, you got anything? Thanks, John.
No, John just made the perfect point. I mean, they all do this shit. As soon as they're mad at another motherfucker, they try to put us in the middle of it to make the other person seem racist, so the progressives discount them. Mm-hmm. But all of them, like, none of this leads to a situation that actually changes anything for us. Like,
that's tools. Yeah.
I mean, and this is why, John is right. We need to have them bring it all back to the conversation about reparations, even though they might say, like, this is a stretch. This is about, just discrimination on the job. It's like, yeah, but like all of this is happening because we don't have an economic floor. We're in these positions where we have to be, at the whim of white employers, and just in situations where we have to deal with racial discrimination because we don't have our own economy that we can escape to.
Yep,
unlike
absolutely.
these other groups, these minority groups, these people of color, the WIPOC coalition. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep, they can always bounce to it. That's what we talked about on one of our other shows, that immigrant privilege. They can just bounce. They can just go home to their home country if shit goes bad here. Well, this is our home country. We got nowhere to go. We just get shit on here. All right. Sam, you got anything? I think that's probably it for this clip, right?
Yeah, go ahead and close it out.
All right. This has been a short show, really short show for us of Reset Race. Thanks for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, and share, and then share some more. All right. Later.
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black repressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. The win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out we really about justice and really who fake.